Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, do the Sixers need Joel Embiid to fend off Dwayne Wade and the Heat? Plus, Chris Broussard joins the show to break down Ty Lue's comments about LeBron. And would Dez Bryant be a fit with the Giants? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's get started with that Sixers-Heat game. The Heat ended Philly's 17-game winning streak with a 113-103 win on the road last night. The series is now tied at 1. Ben Simmons had another solid game with 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. But the story of the night was Dwayne Wade. He had 28 points off the bench, and after hitting a clutch jumper late in the fourth, stared down Sixers fan Kevin Hart, who was sitting courtside. And once again, Philly was without Joel Embiid, again with a broken orbital bone. After the game, he posted on Instagram, bleeping sick and tired of being babied. Embiid then told ESPN that he just wants the green light to play. Shannon, what was your takeaway from last night?
The Heat made a lot of adjustments, but it was just missed shots. I mean, the first in game one, Covington, Bellinelli, and J.J. Redick was 10 of 17 from the three-point line. Last night, they were 4-24. You see what happens, Skip, when you're a three-point shooting team and the threes are not falling? You see what happens? This is what normally happens. But give the Heat credit. They made some adjustments. They seem to me, watching the game, they decided to pick up Ben Simmons early. We're not going to let him get ahead of steam, get to the rim, or find open shooters. So we're going to pick him up. Justice Winslow did a good job of challenging him. It's hard to say that when Ben Simmons in stat line, but O'Roy can get it going against anybody when you're 6'11" and can handle the ball like he can. But when they're not hitting those threes and you don't have a guy like Joel Embiid, see, Skip, when you have a big guy and you're a three-point shooting team and those shots are not falling, you can always say, hey, Joel, get down on the block, dump it down into him. Either he's going to get the bucket or he's going to the foul line because they have no answer for him in the NBA, 7'2" and scale. But give Miami credit. And then every run that Philly tried to mount, D. Wade and Richardson shut it off. And D. Wade he can give you that. He can give you one of those virtuosos, but they're so few and far between, so basically he can give you one of those a series. This is only his fourth time he scored 20 or more points in the 23 games since his return to Miami. So we know what he was, but he can't give you that very often. But give the Miami Heat credit, Skip. They made the necessary adjustments, and Philadelphia just couldn't buy a bucket. It was like the three-point line, the rim had a lid on it. But I'm gonna give the Heat some credit because we know what they did. Slow the ball down, they can defend. But Bellinelli couldn't buy a basket last night. So
he bought a couple early, but not after that.
But I tell you what, you better hold off on those finals tickets because you know you had them in the finals. Just hold off just yet.
Well, got a long way to go.
Yes, your long way.
So, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Thank you. Here we go. Now the show starts, right? I want to talk about the game within the game last night because I want to talk about my little buddy Kevin Hart. By the way, I'm going to see Kevin Hart a little later today, and I'm going to give him an earful just the way he gave Dwayne Wade an earful from courtside last night in Philadelphia, because when Dwayne Wade said after the game, you can thank Kevin Hart for that, he meant it. It was dead serious because Kevin Hart was all over Dwayne Wade from the moment he set foot on the floor last night. And Dwayne Wade responded as only Dwayne Wade can. He still has greatness in him. Not as much as he had before, but in doses, true greatness. He's still got assassin. He's still got the clutch takeover gene where he can just suddenly just take the whole game over. And he kept talking back to Kevin Hart, and he kept pointing at Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart kept talking and talking until he just might have derailed my Eastern Conference Finals pick that I picked the Sixers to beat the Cavs in the finals.
So are you saying Kevin Hart is to the Sixers what Spike Lee is to the Knicks?
Yes, and what Kevin doesn't understand, and I'm going to tell him this later, he cannot go to another Heat-Sixers game.
Why?
Because he's just going to set off Dwayne again. And they tweeted back and forth at each other late last night as he was flying back to L.A., I assume, from his private jet. But he said, you know, I'll see you in Miami. Kevin said to Dwayne, he said, you can't come to Miami. And I'm saying, don't go to Miami because it's the last place you need to go.
Why?
Because just the sight of Kevin Hart is going to set off Dwayne Wade again. You should hope Kevin Hart goes to Miami.
I do.
You should hope he goes to every Sixers game. And he is a Sixers nut. He's true blue. He's to the core, but you can't incite a Dwayne Wade riot on the court. And that's really what he did last night. Was Dwayne Wade not the difference in that game?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, come on.
He had his Reggie Miller moment.
Reggie Miller, I mean, did you see he had 21 in the first half?
Skip.
Come on, he made 8 out of 9 shots in the first half, and then he has 28 total on 11 of 16 shots. And let's just go to the guts of the game. Let's go to what happened. The Sixers go on just a hellacious 18-7 run, like they are very capable of exploding on people, and all of a sudden, 4:29 left, it's a 2-point game, and all of a sudden, the Sixers get the ball back, and they're only down 2. They're about to shoot to tie or to win. And there's a dead ball for a moment, and guess who comes back onto the floor? One Dwayne Wade. And Shannon Sharpe, I know you were watching the game. What proceeded to happen from that point forward? Can we just see this like a little riff of Dwayne Wade here?
Yeah, he was spectacular.
He steals the ball from Sharpe, and he goes right down and dunks it, and he glares at Kevin Hart. And then he made a really sweet little flip pass to James Johnson for a dunk, and then all of a sudden, here they go again. And then Dwayne Wade goes up for an offensive rebound, gets it right back, and it goes around the horn to Dragic for another jumper. And then he caps off the whole, here's the Dragic jumper, and now Miami's just pulling away. And then finally, he goes right up over Ben Simmons from 23 feet, dagger. That was it. That made it back to an 8-point game. It was just Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade, Dwayne Wade. And you don't see a lot of that, but that was a crucial game, too.
They're not winning that game without that performance from D. Wade. And like I said, Skip, on occasion, he can give you that kind of performance. But those performances are so few and far between that it really doesn't have an impact. Like I said, this is only his 4th time above 20 since he's been back in Miami.
Okay, but is the money not on the table now? Is this not when it really counts?
It was on the table. So it wasn't no money on the table in game 1?
Well,
so who picked up the money?
Was this, as every coach will tell you, game 2 is always that turning point when you do your adjustments, you figure out what happened in game 1. They got blown off the floor in the second half of game 1, and all of a sudden, Dwayne Wade, who's been there and done that and done it and done it, did it to the Sixers again. So it made me hark back to what I said before this season started. Remember, on September 27th, I had already picked the Celtics with Kyrie and, of course, with Gordon Hayward to win the East over LeBron and company. And then all of a sudden, company included Dwayne Wade. He's going to rejoin forces with LeBron in Cleveland, Ohio. And I said, I switch. I'm sorry. I got the Cavs to win the East now. And what happened in November and December? It seems so long ago. It seems like 2 seasons ago.
That's, 13-game winning streak?
It was 18-1 over 19-game stretch. They went 18-1, and LeBron was pushing Dwayne Wade for 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened. The trade deadline happened, and obviously Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance Jr., and George Hill, they all happened.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. Explosion is the trade deadline. And a small explosion that kind of got swept under the table was, wait a minute. They sent Dwayne Wade, quote unquote, home to Miami.
Yeah.
It was just like an afterthought. It was like a secondary story. And I'm thinking, wait a second.
Well, Skip,
really?
They were going to have an influx of 2 guards, Rodney Hood, J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson. Kyle Korver.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a hard question right now because I said it then. I'm not being a hypocrite about it. I said LeBron will miss Dwayne Wade's presence. This is not only on the floor, but in the locker room and maybe at home after the game. He's going to miss LeBron's presence in the postseason. So tell me right now, would you rather have Dwayne Wade on your bench or Jordan Clarkson on your bench going forward in these playoffs? Would you rather have Dwayne or Jordan Clarkson? Because I got to tell you, I got to take Dwayne Wade.
You're becoming what you despise most. A prisoner of the moment. Where was this
I've
game 1?
I've always loved Dwayne Wade. I've loved him from day one.
But,
I have.
But what was this when they got beat by 27? So you just looking
Who
at
got beat by 27?
The Miami Heat in game 1.
Yeah,
they got beat by 27.
Well, do you realize what Philly had won? That was their 17th straight win. And did you see the halves in the previous 9 games? They were having 70-point halves, and they threw another 70 at Miami in the second half. They were just on an incredible explosive roll without Joel Embiid.
I'll give D. Wade his credit, Skip. He played well, but you know he can't skip. If he could summon this kind of performance in the playoffs, LeBron would have never left Miami. It was because he couldn't summon these kinds of moments very often. So he went back to Cleveland. You and I both know that. You saw him, his knees ailing. LeBron showing up at the game, the day of the game, and D Wade's out of the lineup because his knees are flailing up. Skip, you know he can't give you that on a nightly basis. He had a great moment. He had a Reggie Miller moment against the Knicks when everybody was saying, when Scottie Pippen told Spike Lee, sit your down. And everybody was mad. Remember the front page of the news, the Daily News, I think it was the Daily News or maybe the Post, Skip, that it was because of Spike Lee caused Reggie Miller to go off. Spike Lee have nothing to do with that. Spike Lee wasn't guarding Reggie Miller, just like Kevin Hart wasn't guarding D Wade.
I'm just saying there are times down this playoff stretch when you would really wish, you're going to wish that Dwayne Wade was sitting there as your 7th or 8th or 9th man when he can come in and give you this, not every night, but every crucial night that you need, because every series has turning point moments, and this was one in this series. Is it now not going to be an uphill battle for the Philadelphia 76ers going back to Miami?
Not if they get the Phantom.
Well,
if they get the Phantom of the process.
And
you know, he tweeted that he was upset, Skip, but he must understand. They treat you like a baby because you're fragile.
Yep.
Bro, you played 31 games in 3 years. You finally doubled that up in year 4. So what are they supposed to do? Now, granted, it was a freak accident, Skip, for him to fracture his eye socket, his orbital, the way he did. But he's been dealing with these injuries. And look, they've come too far. They've got too much invested in Joel Embiid to put him back out there, Skip. Now, he's cleared concussion protocol, but maybe the doctor...
I mean, they've been worried about his foot and his back.
Right.
But this has nothing to do with his foot or his back.
He cleared concussion protocol is being reported. Maybe the doctors don't think the eye is healed properly enough. Now, like I said, I had that injury, Skip. I missed the last 3 weeks of the regular season. I ended up going and playing the Pro Bowl, but that was 7 weeks after. I don't know if we're 7 weeks in from this injury. Are we there? Are we there yet? Maybe.
By the way, the Pro Bowl was more of a basketball game, right?
No, not back then, Skip. No, not back then. You know, it turned into that. But the money wasn't like it. It was like 10 and 5,000 back then, 10 for the winners. Now they play a lot of money. No, they were really tackling. They were really hitting back then.
So I'm going to remind you that LeBron signed off on sending Dwayne, quote unquote, home. There's no issue because I look back at what LeBron said on February 9th about no more Dwayne. And he said, and I quote, "I'm happy as hell for D. Wade. He gets to go back home, and that's how it should be. We know how business is, and more importantly, we see each other all the time anyway, so get out of here, D. Wade." Those quotes are going to echo through the postseason, depending on how Dwayne rises or shines occasionally, as he did here in crucial moments that you might sit back and say, "I wish I had him instead of Jordan." Were you not on Jordan Clarkson the other day for his game 1 disappearance?
Well, I was on George Hill. I was on Jeff Green. I was on Rodney Hood. I was on Kyle Korver. Yes. I was Kevin Love. Yes. Anybody else you want me to name? Skip, the problem was they made it abundantly clear for D. Wade. Moving forward, they need to see what they have in these guys. Rodney Hood's going to be there. Jordan Clarkson's going to be there. Kyle Korver's going to be there. They were going to get the minutes that D. Wade would command, that he deserves being who he is. So moving forward, it's like, D. Wade, we got this opportunity. You can go back home. And LeBron's like, D. Wade, get up out of here. Like I said, that's my boy, that's my dog.
I got it.
All the time.
I got it. LeBron basically did that to him when he was going home back to Northeast Ohio, right? He just left him high and dry in Miami and said, you're good. You know, love you, man, but I'm gone. Because you can't, your knees can't stand up to this anymore.
Friends is friends, business is business, and championships are championships. And they don't always necessarily go hand in hand. We can be friends, and you always gonna be my ace boon coon. But you can't help me win these titles. I need to go with old Kyrie, young Kyrie show him how to do this thing, give him the blueprint.
That's exactly what he said.
Get old Kevin Love on over here.
And I told you, I couldn't believe Dwayne forgave him for that.
What you mean forgave him?
He just left him. You don't do that to your best friend.
I need Biscayne Barbie to forgive him.
Biscayne
Biscayne Barbie over here. She don't want to forgive. Oh, you like that? You like that, huh? But here's the thing, though, Skip. You and I both know this. D. Wade deserved to be in Miami. And LeBron was like, D. Wade, I'm cool with it, bro. I'm cool. Go on home. Be happy.
Give me Jordan Clarkson. Give me Rodney Hood.
Yeah.
Come on.
Watch tomorrow night. When I come in here on Thursday.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Shay.
So, back to the Sixers. Again, I'm standing by my pick that they will win the East. Kevin Hart has not made that very easy at this point. But What happened last night was exactly what they needed to happen, because for the first time, they got punched right in the mouth by a team run by a Pat Riley who Pat Riley'd them. That was good old New York Knicks 80s style, 90s style basketball. In my time of watching playoffs, it is few and far between that I have seen a defensive effort like the Miami Heat threw right into the face of the Philadelphia 76ers last night. They got up in them.
Yes.
They contested everything, and it's been a long while since I saw one team take as many bad shots as Philly forced last night.
Yes, they had to.
They were just throwing them from everywhere, contested. Bellinelli's falling sideways. J.J. Redick's falling over here. Covington is just throwing up shots that are just prayers.
And in game one, everything they threw up was going in.
If you don't contest and you just let them sit down and shoot them.
They got some guys that can defend. Now, Justice Winslow, he
was on Ben Simmons, man.
Yeah, he was playing. Yep. Now you remember when he was at Duke his freshman year, he started hitting those jumpers, and everybody's like, "Wow, yeah, we know he can play. Now he can make." He seems to be more of a defender than an offensive threat.
Yep.
But old Richardson. Now he can flat out defend. He's challenging everybody. You come off the pick and roll, and he was still getting back, blocking shots, challenging people at the rim.
Good
so
player.
they got guys. James Johnson is tough.
Yep.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Whiteside. He lunching Joy.
He comes and goes.
Well, he's gone. I mean,
when Joel Embiid comes back, he won't be.
Well, they're gonna have to play him because they got no answer for him. But he played 15 minutes, Skip. I mean, the guy's making $26 million a year, and he's playing 15 minutes in the playoffs.
He had a couple of plays he made last night.
Well, he's going to need him a
Got his
couple
hand
more.
on a couple of
Now,
blocks.
you know Joel Embiid's coming back.
I assume he is. Now, he's even doubting that he's going to be allowed to play on Thursday. He better play Thursday. That's
What
all I
if
gotta
it is?
say.
Yeah, because it's
Better
going to be hard.
I told you when I made my pick, it hinged on how quickly and how strongly Joel Embiid comes back, because then I don't know his cardio conditioning. I don't know.
Oh, he's going to be blowed.
Yeah.
He ain't play. I mean, he's not doing a whole lot, Skip. And there's nothing but like running up and down the court. You can get on the stationary bike, you're the Versa climber, but there's nothing like getting in conditioning for your sport rather than playing your sport. Because I ran a lot of sprints, but when it came time to 2-minute drill, the first practice in training camp, I was blowed.
It is tough.
Yeah.
So it depends. If he turns back into Joel Embiid, I love this team, and I still love it. And I do think this is just what the doctor, as in Dr. J, ordered for this team, to get punched in the mouth one time. And yet, did they quit last night? Did they get blown out?
No.
Did they not go on the big run to cut it to 2?
Oh, yeah.
And then Dwayne Wade happened.
Well, Kevin Hart living some kind of life. You know, he got the Eagles, he got Villanova,
He got
the
it.
Sixers. So
He's front running.
Kev, you hear that?
Bi-coastal.
Skip say you front running.
Front running. He's running right back to L.A. today, and I'm going to tell him you cannot go back to Philly.
Why?
Any more of these games. He's going to wreck it.
Man, that's his team,
Derail
Skip.
it. Huh?
That'll be like you.
Can't do it.
Well, you can't root for the Cowboys.
If he wants to go sit in a box. Go sit upstairs.
that
go
man don't
sit in
wanna-
a box where nobody can see or hear him, especially Dwayne Wade.
It's not the same
I
feel.
know it's not.
It's like you root for the Cowboys. Start rooting for the Cowboys or the Spurs.
Well, that's all right. I don't go to the games.
Yeah, but you there, everybody know you rooting for them at home.
But you know what
you
happened?
Kevin Hart at home.
Yeah, I am. That's right. But when Kevin Hart tried to get on the field after the Super Bowl, they just said, "Who are you?" I don't know.
Oh, they knew who he was.
He's too little.
But that guy said, "Look, I know I got a little security job.
Yeah.
That's all I got, but I'm gonna keep it. Because if I let you go up on this stage,
I'm not keeping it anymore.
I'm fired before you get down."
Yeah. Wade also passed Larry Bird on the list of most career points in NBA
Who's
playoffs.
number one on that list, Joey? Oh, who number one on the playoff
What
scoring
was
list?
this? I didn't get it.
Playoff scoring list. The all-time leader in playoff points scored. I'm trying to figure out who's number one.
You mean the guy who's 3-5 in the NBA Finals?
I don't know who's number one. Whoever's number one, that's who I got.
Okay, you can have it. Yeah.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. More Undisputed is on the way, but first, a quick word about Buffalo Wild Wings. There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways and a blanket of white cheese sauce. And he's joined by other new favorites, like the smothered cheesesteak quesadilla, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska Cod Classic. All pair perfectly with a Sam 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly.
No mercy.
The Cavs were blown out by the Pacers in Game 1 on Sunday. LeBron finished with a triple-double, but he did not attempt a shot in the first 10 minutes of the game, and the Cavs were already down by 17 at that point. Yesterday, Ty Lue talked about LeBron saying he has to be aggressive and set the tone early. We talked about that today, being aggressive early, setting the tone, especially for these new guys, bringing these guys along. He understood that, but once again, he's always a guy trying to get his teammates off early, get the guys going, then try to feel the game out, be ready to set a tone. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Welcome, Chris. Chris, do you have a problem with Lue saying this?
Absolutely not. I mean, the notion, some people are saying he was calling LeBron out by saying we want him to be aggressive. If a coach can't say we want you to be aggressive, turn in your whistle. I'm sorry. I mean, if you can't say we need you to be aggressive.
Yeah, coach, you carry the whistle.
My goodness. Look, there's a misconception out there. LeBron James and Tyronn Lue have a great relationship.
Great.
Now, the argument they had on the bench a few weeks ago that everybody overreacted to, I was actually told LeBron had been yelling at or being critical, talking about another player or something, upset the way something went. And Ty Lue was saying, all right, enough. That's enough of that. Like it wasn't even an argument between them. Yeah. So, no, first of all, Ty Lue is right on the money. You do need LeBron to be more aggressive. I think, look, LeBron does do this at times. Last year against Indiana in Game 1, first game of that series, I think he had 4 points in the first quarter. Didn't score till late in that quarter, was kind of filling it out. But I want to see him come out like he did last year again, Game 1 against Toronto and Boston, where he drove to the basket, he scored big in the first quarter and led them to double-digit lead in the first quarter because Indiana, they believe. They think they have Cleveland's number. They beaten them 4 out of 5 this year. They think Lance Stevenson is like the LeBron nuisance. You know what I mean? Like, you need to punch them in the mouth and let them know, look, this is real playoff basketball. I'm the king, at least of the Eastern Conference, and I'm knocking you out.
Do you realize that Ty Lue revealed to the media a private conversation he had had earlier with LeBron James in which he criticized LeBron for not being aggressive enough? And then he goes to the media and says, we talked about it, and I told him he needs to be more aggressive. And Ty said he came back at me and said, no, I really want to get other players involved early, which is always his mantra.
Yeah.
And Ty said, well, you can't do it this time. We need you to be more aggressive early. So he's saying to the media, to the whole, the gathered media, the national media, I called out my player. That's what he's saying. I don't care what you say. That's what he's saying. What do you call it? Criticism or why would you tell the media that? Why would you? If I'm LeBron James, I'm not pleased with this.
We're not thin-skinned like that.
No, come on. You can't be that thin-skinned. No. If LeBron is that thin-skinned, there's a problem.
No, he's not.
There's a problem.
When has he not been thin-skinned?
His whole
Seriously?
life.
LeBron James?
Nope.
That thin-skinned,
The drama king?
that a coach can't say, we had a conversation.
Right.
He wasn't yelling, we had a conversation. I had to get in LeBron's butt and tell him, look, you got to go at, no. Ty Lue was smiling.
If I'm Ty Lue, I do not divulge that to the media. I don't offer that up. I don't just say, here, media, run with this, because that became the headline of the day, right?
But here's the thing. If Ty Lue would have came out to take, to go along with your narrative, if Ty Lue would have came out and just said, no, I need LeBron to be more aggressive. Don't say we had a conversation. Just, I need LeBron to be more aggressive. He was too passive. He didn't go after. Then the story would have been, wow, he called him out. You could say it was softened by him saying, we had a conversation.
I don't know.
And we kind of both came to this conclusion.
Well, wait a second. Your partner in crime sitting across from me called it dry snitching earlier in this show. Dry snitching by Ty Lue on LeBron James.
But LeBron, he cleared it with us. LeBron. Yeah. But see, what happened was, Skip, he had already cleared it with LeBron. So everything was going to be okay because what he's doing, he's coaching the other guys. Look, I want LeBron to be aggressive, but I want you to be aggressive also. Don't sit back and wait for LeBron to make everything happen. And Chris, he was doing that. They were the #1 percentage on wide open threes in the NBA. Yeah. They was 4 of 12 on Monday. So, on Sunday. When you go 0 for 8 from the 3 in the first quarter and you have 7 turnovers, that's the recipe to get down by 19. Now, this is what I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. He got a little gift. She's going to be in the arena early tonight. Miss Triple Dub will show up by the half. And then he going to have
wait, you're predicting by halftime he's going to
40, he going to have a 40-point triple dub.
But are you going to be tripled up by halftime?
He going to be close. I'm going to say he have 28 and 8.
Okay.
28 and 8.
You about lost another case of dew on that one.
He gonna have a triple dub. He gonna have a 35+ point triple dub. Put dew on that.
I just might.
Yeah.
So, Chris Broussard, do you realize, because he also accused me of overreacting, do you realize in the first quarter of Game 1 the other day in Cleveland, Ohio, against the Indiana Pacers, LeBron James was a -19 and +9, which means he played all 12 minutes, and in those 12 minutes, his team lost by 19 points because it was 33-14. Do you realize -19 was the worst first quarter plus-minus of LeBron's entire playoff career? And worse, it tied the worst quarter ever of his career, which was Game 2 versus the Celtics in that last infamous series versus the Celtics before he took his talents to South Beach. The one in which Dan Gilbert accused LeBron of quitting in. Remember that one? Yep. So it was Game 2's third quarter, -19. Game 1's first quarter the other day, -19. So LeBron just had the worst quarter of his whole playoff career.
And had a triple dub.
And didn't score a single field goal. And they were down 33-14. So I think Ty Lue is certainly within his rights to say, hey, big fella, I need you.
Yeah. And I just don't think LeBron's going to
change
melt
no.
because Ty Lue said, we need you to be aggressive. Look, do you think Ty Lue was sitting LeBron in a chair and going at him like this? I'm sure it was a nice, calm conversation.
Let me tell you how the conversation went. Hey, Bron.
Please?
Bro, I need you to be a little bit more aggressive. I know you're trying to get those other guys involved, but they haven't been here. They'll follow your lead. So I need you to take it to the rack, flush on a couple of people. I know you're going to be who you are because ultimately you're selfless by nature. Yeah, that's why everybody loves playing with you. That's why everybody comes in the NBA. Who's your favorite player currently playing? LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. So you watch tomorrow night, Skip Bayless. I want to make sure you be tweeting too. And I make sure in your tweets you at Shannon Sharpe.
I will never do that. Not ever, ever. You can book that. I will never, ever.
Yeah, I know you be
I don't need to do that because everybody who follows me just sends it right on to you.
They sure, right? But you know, old Biscayne Barbie over here, that's what they call it now in Miami. She's known as Biscayne Barbie. She all feeling all good, kind of heat won. But you watch tomorrow night, Skip Bayless. He got a big, because see, the sky's falling.
He's going to be big.
48.
He's going to be big.
The dude is 48-7 in the first round. So the sky is falling when he lose one game, especially at home. But do I look
worse? Has he ever lost a Game 1 at home in a first-round series in his whole playoff career?
Has anybody?
No.
That was his first home loss?
Yeah.
Period. In the first round.
Ever.
Because he never lost the first cup. Well, I know a guy
12-0.
that couldn't get out the first round until 87. You know that guy, too?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I know the guy that couldn't get out the first round until 87.
He was facing Larry Bird and the Celtics.
No, if he's the greatest, he got to get past that. Because that's what we ask him. That's what we ask. Come on now, you know the men
He's
was
not
in
the
Walker.
greatest.
You know the men was in a Walker. I'm talking about in their prime. Now, Skip told me if LeBron James is the greatest, he's supposed to take down KD, Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Now, you telling me they had Bird and Parrish and McHale and DJ, but they were good. So, you know, he was a baby. He's a little bitty baby. Oh, Jordan, little baby. But my guy,
you need help. I'm with you on that. Everybody needs help.
Everybody.
LeBron needs
in
more
basketball.
help now.
You need.
I can't wait until we hear.
Well, look. I mean, if they were to lose this series, I've said all year, everybody's raving this is his best season ever. I've said no because the defensive end is not. He doesn't impact the game as much on that end. And that if they were to lose this series. This would be evidence.
Who led them in blocks?
Blocks and steals are not evidence of great defense. Allen Iverson led the league in steals several times. Yeah. He wasn't a great defender.
Yeah.
Do you think Oladipo can defend?
I voted him first team All-NBA.
Okay, and he led the league in steals this year, so he can do both things.
And he can lock you up too.
Oh, so let me ask you. So you want Oladipo or you want LeBron James? Is that what you saying?
Overall, as a player, you want
Okay, then.
LeBron.
Wait a second.
Even with that
I'm
bad
just saying,
defense?
if they don't win this first round, you gonna have the nerve to tell me this is the best LeBron James we've ever seen? I don't care. The best LeBron James we've ever seen could take anybody and win a first round.
I don't know.
He did it. He did his whole career.
Come on, Victor.
And this
Oladipo.
thing,
that's
he's
what makes him
not
the greatest
playing.
then.
He's not playing with chump change. Come on, Kevin Love's a perennial all-star.
Oh, Kevin Love, huh?
Yeah, Kevin
Yes,
Love.
Kevin
now
Love.
you're going to
Kevin
diss
Love
Kevin
gets
Love.
no love.
Oh, I love Kevin Love.
Give Kevin Love more than 8 shots.
Kevin Love need to get more than 8 shots. Remember, that's what I told you. Ty Lue is coaching through LeBron. I need everybody to be more aggressive. But I just put that on Bron. See how he did that right there?
I'm just saying,
See how he did that right there?
if they got to win this.
They ain't going
if
nowhere.
LeBron, this would be evidence that LeBron's not at his best. If they can't win this first round,
LeBron, and then if they do what?
I expect them to win it. I'm just saying.
See, but so
Because you saying this is the best
so let me
LeBron
ask you a
James
question.
ever.
He can't get any credit if he wins this first round.
No,
but
he get
the
credit. I'm just saying, you gonna tell me this is better than LeBron in Miami, better than LeBron in 2009 and 2010.
Well, LeBron had more in Miami.
He didn't have more in Cleveland in 2009 and 2010.
2007 when he took that team to the finals, that mop bucket and squeegee and some loofah.
That was a better LeBron James.
Yeah. No, but this right here, we ain't seen
This is great, but come on.
Shannon Sharpe,
Yes.
how do you defend the fact that LeBron James no longer defends anybody? How do you defend that?
He plays
I don't know.
center field. He's not a
Center
shortstop
field.
anymore.
But he used to be.
Yeah. He used to sit in the chair. He can't do that anymore.
All right, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
No, I mean, come on now, Chris.
You know what?
I'm not comparing him to other guys in their 15th year. I'm comparing him to LeBron James in year
And that's
11
what you do.
and
That's what
10
you
and all
do.
that.
If I were Ty Lue, I would not tell LeBron, I need you to be more aggressive. I would tell Ty Lue, I need you to take Victor Oladipo. That's what I would tell him.
No.
You'll wear him down for offense.
Wear him
Thank you.
down.
No.
Wear him down.
I know that's what you want.
Because you
want to
can't
lose.
shut down Oladipo. You know that. The best defenders in the NBA
Can't stop
don't
the other
shut
best
people
no,
down.
No.
Bother him. I've seen LeBron say,
Not
I got
bother,
that
but-
guy, and take him out.
Yeah,
quarter.
for
Exactly,
a
for
small
stretches.
period of time.
How about the first quarter?
No.
Huh? Set the tone.
If anything, the fourth quarter.
Give up the triple dub. Who cares about triple dubs when you're losing? He's got a bunch of losing triple dubs. Miss Triple Dub, she liked losing. She didn't even get to go to the restaurant after the game.
No, she
didn't
didn't
take
go.
her anywhere.
But she going tonight. I'm staying open late tomorrow night. Staying open late.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You watch.
You do serve hot L's too, so.
No, I closed it down.
No, she didn't like those.
Yep. And I closed my pastry shop, my turnover shop. I
Yep.
closed that down too. Watch tomorrow night. 13 assists, 2 turnovers.
What's his first half? Give it to me.
28-8.
20, 10, and 10?
20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists.
Huh. Well, why don't you have the courage of your convictions go up to 10 and 10?
No.
Huh?
No. Hey, now I ain't worried about the rebounds and the points. It's the assists. I mean, he hitting guys wide open
He's
and they
gonna have a
missing
ton of points.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 8 and 8 in the first
They can't
half,
stop
but
it.
He'll have a ton of points.
Can't
They
stop.
can't stop
Won't
it.
stop.
I would agree. Nobody
Nobody,
can keep it from
ever.
them except Embiid and Ben Simmons.
No,
That's the
they
only
can't
two.
stop.
They can't.
No, they can't.
Chris, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
Next up, could Dez Bryant be on his way to the Big Apple? Dez told 105.3 The Fan in Dallas that he wants to play for the Giants. He added it would be crazy to play with Odell and Eli, and they have a great defense. After Dez was released by the Cowboys on Friday, he expressed interest in staying in the NFC East because it was, quote, personal. Shannon, why do you think Dez wants to play for the Giants?
Well, the reason seems to be very obvious to me is because he wants to get back at the Cowboys. Skip, it's still raw to him. It's still so raw and so personal that he can't get out of his emotions. He can't get out of his own way. But I think as time passes and he gets an opportunity to sit back and say, look, okay, instead of me trying to get back at the Cowboys, let me go to the best situation to help Dez Bryant. Skip, take it from a guy that's been through a situation like what Dez is going through. For me, Skip, the Broncos were the last thing. Y'all already told me what y'all thought about Shay Sharpe by not re-signing me. The Cowboys told you, Dez, what they think of you. So you trying to get back at them by playing them. Go to a situation you can win, and you can prove to yourself that you're still a number one. And your success will be enough, be it against them or not. Trust me, whether you play them or not, they got TVs in Dallas. They'll know what you're doing. You notice he mentioned a lot of people. He mentioned Eli. He mentioned Odell. He mentioned Sterling Shepard. Did he forget Brandon Marshall's on that roster?
I don't know.
Did he forget? Did he forget Brandon Marshall? Maybe he thinks Brandon Marshall is still on the Jets. Maybe he was so, consumed with being a Cowboy.
Yep.
And the guy was asking him about certain teams. They asked him about the Packers, and he's like, "Nah, it doesn't seem right." Dez, you remember when they asked you, "Can you see yourself in another uniform?" You said, "Hell nah, it don't seem right." Well, you need to get to steaming because it's right.
It's gonna
because
happen,
the Cowboys got you up out of there, bruh. Take the emotion out of it. Make the best decision for Dez Bryant professionally. Don't go on one of these vendettas. Oh, I got to get back at the Cowboys. I got to get back at the Cowboys. Forget the Cowboys because they're going to forget about you. Go somewhere. They have a quarterback and you can win. And you can prove to yourself, you know what? Hey, Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless, check out this out route. Check out this comeback.
Yep.
Check out this shake. Post, corner, post. Now I can do all that. Not what y'all talking about. Man, you see Dez Skip? Man, Skip, Dez will give them the business. Now, this the old Dez 2013, 14 Dez I remember were cooking folk. Don't worry about trying to get back at the Cowboys. Go to the best situation that's going to make Dez Bryant whole.
I agree with that. By the way, speaking of Brandon Marshall, I do not know his health situation as we speak, and he had a bad injury to end his year last year, and he wasn't very good before that injury.
He wasn't.
But I will bet you that right here, right now, Brandon Marshall is better than Dez Bryant is right here, right now.
Yeah.
I'll just bet you.
Oh,
that.
yeah. I'll agree with that.
Okay? So, I'm going to give my man Shannon Sharpe credit for enlightening me on this point. But who did you say when he joined the New York Football Giants was going to put the handcuffs? Remember this? How'd you do it like
Rabbit.
this?
Yep.
Jack Rabbit, right? Janoris Jenkins, right? So what happened every time Janoris was healthy and played in the game against Dez Bryant?
Things didn't go well for him.
Didn't go very well, because I can tell you what it was. In 2016, there were 2 games. Janoris played in both of them. That was the first year of Dak Prescott. And in the very first game in the opener, Dez caught 1 ball for 8 yards. And then up at New York, remember, it was the snow, rain, slush game. And
caught another one for 8.
he caught one for 10, and he fumbled it. And it was just a nightmare to watch. And remember, Odell got loose one time, and that was the game, because that was the total scoring in that game. And then last year, up at, it was the one game, it was actually in Dallas, that it was the opener last year in Dallas, and that was the only game Janoris played. And Dez managed to catch 2 balls for a grand total of 43, and one came late in the game when it just didn't matter.
Right.
But Janoris puts the handcuffs on Dez Bryant. So nobody will know better than the Giants about how easy it is to defend Dez Bryant with one defender. Now, he's a really good defender.
Yes.
And he is a lockdown, lock-up corner, and he is physical, but he ain't afraid of no Dez.
No.
He just gets right up into him.
Well, he said, well, then if I join him, I don't have to play against him.
That's what he's saying,
So
right?
it'll be a lot easier. And the thing is, a lot, Skip, of getting open is the release. A lot of times, guys win on the release.
Yep.
And then if you can win on the release, it's a lot easier to get in and out of your breaks. With Dez is a big body, and he used to be able to play through contact. But Skip, all of a sudden, those physical attributes start to diminish, and you're not as athletic as you once were.
Yep.
Then what? What do you fall back on? Skip, if you can't run as fast, you can't jump as high, what do you fall back on when you've never been a technician?
You got it. So now we get to the Giants' bottom line. Would you really want to inflict Dez Bryant and Odell Beckham Jr. on Eli Manning on the sideline and in the huddle? Can you imagine both of them demanding more targets, more catches, more balls?
Go to Baltimore, Dez. Yep. I think Baltimore will be a great situation. Ozzie Newsome and the Ravens, they do a great job of finding guys that want to prove something to themselves. I was one of those guys.
Yep.
Steve Smith Sr. was another one of those guys.
Yep.
Rod Woodson was one of those guys. Trevor Price, Sam Adams, the list goes on and on. So I believe that would be a better situation for him because, see, Skip, Dez still sees himself as a number 1. And I believe he can be that in Baltimore.
I'm not sure that's true because for him to say, I would love to play for the Giants, I think he's admitting to you publicly, okay, I'm not what I used to be. Because would he want to share with Odell, his buddy?
That's Odell. He knows he's not better than Odell. But he goes, Skip, I believe the one of the main reasons, not only because of diminished production from Dez, is that the Cowboys saying, hold on, if we draft a receiver in the first round, we want to transition him to number one. You're not going to be number one with Dez on the team because he's going to constantly be, and he still sees himself as that in Dallas.
Yep.
But if he goes somewhere else and there's not a true number one there, what do you think he's thinking, Skip? They brought me in to be a number one. Now, you see the money that's out there. Jordy Nelson, 2 years, $14 million. Crabtree, 3 years, $21 million. Hearns got 2 years, $12 million. So that's the ballpark, somewhere between 5 and 7 days. That $12.5 million, bro, is over. So you're probably going to be on a 1 year, make it, take it deal.
Yep. So I did a Facebook Live soon after this news broke after our show on Friday, and the first team I brought up was the Baltimore Ravens because it just seemed like the perfect fit for a guy on not his last legs, but he's in the fall to winter of his career, right?
And they let you be you, Skip.
Yeah.
You can have that.
They
They let your personality, who you are, show it. But when you get on the field, we need you to make them plays now.
Yep. And so it was interesting to me that in the story that I read, in which the interviewer is asking Dez about all these teams got, and he never brought up the Baltimore Ravens. So I don't even know if Dez is on his radar yet, but I assume they would express some interest to him.
That interview was probably right after he had gotten released.
Yep.
So it's really, that wound is really open, Skip. It's really fresh. And all the emotions, Jerry's my guy, but yet he signed off on this. Oh, Jason Garrett guys, they undermine me, they undercut me. So the emotion is so fresh, Skip. You want, if Dez could have lined up the next day and played for an NFC team against the Cowboys, he would have. Because that's it, Skip. Because you got to realize, he said it wouldn't seem right if he was not in that blue and silver 88. It wouldn't seem right. The Cowboys seem to think it'll be okay, because they say, Dez, you got to get up out of here. Now, Dez, take the emotion out of it. Forget the Cowboys. Go be successful, and with all those TVs in Dallas, make them wish they'd have kept you on the roster. But there's nothing you can do about it now. You'll be able to come back, and it always happens. Look at Troy. He's still the Cowboys. Emmett still show up at the game. Be sitting in Jerry's box. True. Jerry cut Emmett.
He did, and they clashed repeatedly.
Yeah, because Emmett about his money. Ooh. Now, one thing I know about Emmitt Smith and I, we came out together. Emmett's a good friend of mine. Emmett about his money.
He is, and always was. And
He
was holding out, boy. That 93 season, that was ugly.
Yep.
They lost their first 2 games, and I'm not sure Emmett ever quite got over that, but he is now a Cowboy ambassador, to your point.
Yes.
And I have no doubt that at some point, maybe sooner than later, Dez is going to be a Cowboy ambassador living in Dallas, Texas, because that's where his long-term home will be.
Yes.
I have no doubt. But I'm going to speak now as just a Cowboy fan and a former Dez fan. I still love him. I respect him as a competitor because he will compete even when he doesn't have all of his stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I do not fear him. I just don't. I don't think he's going to come back to haunt the Cowboys. I still think, bottom line, as harsh as it is, the harsh reality is he's a broken down shell of himself, and I don't think he's made of the right intangibles that he's going to get real serious about learning a route tree at this point in his career. I just don't see it. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't, look here. I was just trying to be the best version of the old Shannon that I could be for the Baltimore Ravens. Broncos, y'all do y'all thing. Y'all got who y'all wanted. Y'all be happy with them. I wish you all the best. I still have friends on that roster, still communicated with a lot of them. Never in my wildest imagination, Skip, did I ever think I would play the Broncos. And it just so happens, the very first playoff game for the Ravens, guess who we play? The Denver Broncos. And, well, we know how that thing go, old best game. You know, Shannon Sharpe. I had to do a little something. Had to pick on him, put him down on him, Skip. Yeah, old Karen pass, ball tipped up in there. I was like, oh, thank you very much. I'll take this. Oh, I'm slowing down. 58 yards later, they smell deodorant. Touchdown, Ravens.
Your one catch.
That's it. That's all we did. I had 3 that game. Okay. But then I went and got me another one against Tennessee. 57 yards, took it down to the 1. Quelled their momentum.
I saw
it. And then I hit
there.
that one on Raiders.
You hit that one on the Raiders. Yeah,
95, hit 95 north. You know, 95 go a long way. You know, start up on Miami, Key West, come on up, all the way through Maine, Boston, Maine.
Well, way to go. Safety took a terrible route.
Whoa, what they got to do with that thing, Skip? He couldn't have called me if he took the perfect route.
And then you rode Ray Lewis's coattails all the way to a 3rd ring, right? Way to go.
I did. I rode TD and John Elway's in the first 2.
Yeah.
And I rode shotgun. I said, when y'all done, drop me off at 2121 Canton Hall at Hallis Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they dropped me. I got out the car, went on up in the building.
Pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a constant conflict in pro sports to separate the professional from the personal, but it's a little time. Time heals all wounds.
You know what? Team seems to do it a lot better than players, don't they?
Well, yeah, it's a lot easier for them to do that.
No mercy.
There have been talks of tension in New England for months. Now Tom Curran of NBC Sports Boston says it's Tom Brady that's leading the pushback against Bill Belichick. Curran says, quote, "It's not about one thing, it's about everything. It's about the culture." Brady skipped the first day of Patriots voluntary workouts yesterday. And Shannon, how much of this do you believe?
Skip, I can believe this part of it because it's easy to follow the Patriots culture if the best player in that organization, arguably the best player ever or one of, is following the Patriots culture. So if he starts to buck, everybody else will think it will be okay to buck. Skip, I'm gonna tell you a true story. My senior year, coach had bed check. So it's about 11:30. We're supposed to be in our rooms at 11 o'clock. So it's 11:30. He gets all the football players out. He's like, I'm going to make everybody run until y'all tell me where a dude named Danz, I'm going to tell his name. I know he's watching. He's going to probably hit me up too. Until y'all tell me where Danz is.
You snitching?
Yeah, I'm dry snitching. I'm telling on Danzy. It was him because he the one that said it. I didn't know why we out of bed anyway. But anyway, Skip, he's like, I'm going to make everybody run if y'all don't tell me where Danzy is. It's 11:30. I was like, Coach, first of all, I said, Danzy is not a starter. I said, second of all, I got an 8 a.m. class. I'm going to bed. As I started to walk back into the dorm, everybody say, well, Sharpe ain't staying out here. I'm going in too. Everybody else followed in behind me. I was the leader. They followed me. Tom Brady's the leader. They're going to follow him. See, the thing is, Skip, you heard Tom Brady say he's seen a lot of great players go. He saw Randy Moss. He saw Wes Welker, Logan Mankins, Richard Seymour, McGinnis, and Ty Law. All of them, Skip. Mm-hmm. And he says, I trust this organization. I trust Coach Belichick, and this organization is going to do the right thing. Coach Belichick said, I'm glad you do, because I'm going to put that theory to the test. You're going to be my best test subject, because then and only then did Tom Brady started to feel and realize what all the players before him had felt.
Yep.
That Coach Belichick is as callous as they come. It's all about wins and losses. It's never about the personal relationships. And Tom Brady said, you know what? This dude really want to go the last couple of miles without me. I done drove him through all this. Saved his job, Skip. You know I did it. Saved his job. 8 Super Bowls, 5 wins, 4 MVPs, 3 regular season MVPs, and the last 3-4 miles before this journey comes to an end, he wants to go it without me. How dare you? So you mean to tell me now, after 19 years of you taking less money and everybody else having to take less money to stay there because you took less money, now he's starting to grind on you? Now he's starting to get on your nerves after 19 years? Come on, Skip. Coach Belichick has not changed. The only thing that's changed is Tom Brady has realized that Coach Belichick thinks the exact same thing of him as all those players that he got rid of before. And he was willing to go the last 3 to 4 miles of this journey without Tom Brady. And now Tom Brady is starting to see, because it's hard for me to believe that Coach Belichick has changed one iota since the very first day he stepped foot in that organization. The only thing that has changed is Tom Brady's perception of Coach Belichick.
So, I'm with you on everything you just said. We keep talking about this day after day after day, and I keep saying that Brady and Belichick are at war. You can call it Cold War, Quiet War, whatever kind of war you want to call it. They are at war, and you cannot convince me that in large part, Tom versus time was really Tom versus Bill. That's what it was. It was a response to a Bill Belichick who has rejected Alex Guerrero, the trainer that Tom Brady believes heart and soul in. So the whole thing is 6 episodes of, Bill, look at this. Bill, look how this works. Look at this. Yeah, look how this works. Look at this, this, and this.
And my injury for real, see?
He did. That was the last shot that he took in episode 6. He said, Bill, look at my injury. And remember, Bill, obviously, after Brady had led a pretty miraculous one more fourth quarter comeback against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship game, with the gash that he showed, base of thumb, throwing hand, 12 stitches he said it took to close. We don't know how he did it, but it happened, and it was in there. And remember, after the game, Bill Belichick said, wasn't exactly open heart surgery, and then he said it was more media circus than football crisis. And I think Tom was thinking, Coach, this is a football crisis, at least in my world it was, because there was a night when I thought, I'm not sure I can play on Sunday against the Jaguars.
In Tom's mind, even if he thought it was a media creation, you side with the guy that's in-house.
You do.
Because most coaches do that.
Because it came across, such as you occasionally do, that Belichick was trying to take all credit away from Tom Brady for playing hurt, playing, toughing it out, blah, blah, blah. So now we have a Patriot insider, a reporter and a columnist for NBC Boston named Tom Curran, who, by the way, did write Julian Edelman's book with him. So I'm pretty sure he's pretty connected to Edelman and to Brady. He probably hears a lot of stuff, right? And he's saying that Tom Brady is leading the revolt against Bill Belichick. Now, again, there are no details about how you lead the revolt. Do I think Tom Brady is calling up each teammate and saying, we got to rebel? No, I don't think he's calling up anybody.
Him not showing up.
Yeah, he's just not showing up. That's all. He's setting a tone the way you set the tone. You just said, I got an 8 o'clock class. I'm going in.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady's going in. He's going to Qatar, wherever he went with his family, right?
Well, they say Qatar. I thought it was Qatar, but I guess
I think it's Qatar, but whatever.
They change it every.
Whatever. But
with all that money, Skip, they can be whatever they want it to be.
They can be. They got lots of money. I wouldn't mind visiting there someday just to see.
You ain't gonna visit nothing.
I am. I'm going to visit it. I want to see it. So the point is, Tom is visiting it, I assume, as we speak, with family. Maybe he's dedicating more time to his family. But just remember, we're back to this. The ESPN bombshell story, I'm giving them full credit for this.
Yes.
It said that Robert Kraft ordered Bill Belichick to trade Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yep.
And that Bill Belichick was poised, he had his plan in place to say thanks, but no more thanks, Tom Brady, and that Jimmy G would be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots this coming football season, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Robert Kraft got faced with a dilemma he's never had to face, maybe back into his Parcells days of running the team, where you got to choose, man, because to me, if you're going to order that trade, it's going to become an either-or to me. Because Belichick's been doing this a long time. He's got 5 rings, too. He's proud.
Nobody has the kind of power he has as a head coach within the organization.
Nobody. So, to me, I'm going to say it one more time. Unfortunately for Robert Kraft, he's trying to juggle 2 big egos and 2 explosive egos behind closed doors.
He believes they go hand in hand. One or the other thinks I can be successful without the other around. Mr. Kraft's like, guys, it's both of you. And Bill said, nope, give me this. Tom said, nope, give me that. And we might be on a collision course.
It's a collision course. To me, Robert Kraft is going to wake up one day and realize I had to pick one or the other.
Yes.
You can't have them both going forward for the next 2 or 3 years, happy coexisting. I think the bridge just got burned by the owner. He set fire to it, and it's burning to the ground right before his very eyes. Not to mention that it now, this is just me, it appeared that Bill Belichick then rebelled against the order to trade Jimmy G by giving him away for a mere second-round pick, giving away Jacoby Brissett, as you point out, to Indianapolis for nothing.
Right.
And he simply was their starting quarterback last year. He's pretty good. He'll be a quality backup quarterback. And we get to the Super Bowl, and no one can yet explain to me, or apparently any other New England Patriots still on the roster or not on the roster, why Malcolm Butler didn't play a single snap. He's your best defensive back. He played 98% of the snaps during the year. I'm sorry, it just feels sabotagey to me. It feels like Belichick just said, hell with it. I rebel.
And I think the players would, Skip, if they play Malcolm Butler 5 snaps, 6 snaps, and they lose, I think the guys can live with it. It's the mere fact that he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah.
That they can't come to grips with.
Because nobody knows.
Who can and Skip, even if he was doing whatever they said were alleging, he said it didn't happen. If he had spent all his time at the concert, which he said didn't happen, in order to win that ball game, the players would throw everything that a player has done. We want to win at all costs. And they feel that Coach Belichick when he says do your job, he did his job not the right way because they feel that everybody said Malcolm Butler is a stand-up guy, blah, blah, blah. And they just cannot come to grips. No. Why would this man not play? And Coach Belichick is the only head coach of 32 men that don't have to give you an answer. Say it was a coach's decision.
So all of a sudden, Malcolm Butler not playing for the Patriots is to the Patriots what Malcolm Butler intercepting the pass against the Seahawks in that Super Bowl has become to the Seahawks. The beginning of the end, right? Where everything starts to teeter because the Seahawks locker room could never get comfortable with the fact you didn't give it to Beast Ball?
Because what happened, Skip? They lost faith in their head coach.
They did.
They no longer believed.
This is the first time there are those in that locker room, and I can't speak for all of them, but clearly as Amendola walked out the door, he's expressing a lack of trust in Belichick. I don't know why. I asked for an explanation. I didn't get one. So all of a sudden, there's not in Bill, we trust in the locker room. It used to be blind trust.
Absolutely.
Now they're questioning whether they should trust. And you can put up with the blankety blank that he is on a daily basis if you're winning and you believe that his way is the only way. And now they're looking at this saying, what just happened here?
Because you see other teams winning, they're having fun. He grinding you down, and every day it's oh, my goodness.
The Eagles did appear like they had a lot of fun. They did. It looked like a fun group.
Lane Johnson was talking before they even got down there.
He did.
He said, I want to beat the pretty boy. He said, they don't have no fun. We having fun. We having some good old time.
I give him credit for that. He was ahead of that curve.
Hey, and he played he played a well of a ball game, too. He was shutting people down. But, Skip, this doesn't look good because Brady is the guy. Great. If you get that guy, Skip, if you get the quarterback, and he's the face of the franchise, which Brady is, Skip, it was easy. Because what John did, John was our leader. So we followed him. If he's like, hey, I know it's hot, boys, but hey, we got to, hey, man said, let's go do this. But now Brady's like, well, he ain't showing up. Well, hell, I might take me a day or two.
Okay, so what was the last line of episode 6 of Tom versus Time? It was about conviction. And Tom Brady, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, if you don't have conviction, then you shouldn't play. I didn't get it then, but I'm starting to get it now. I think he's saying, I'm not sure I have conviction to go play for him.
For him?
Yeah.
Oh, I still want to play, but I don't know how much longer I want to play for him.
Yeah, and Giselle said he wants to have fun and be appreciated,
she did,
too.
And she made that was a pointed point.
Yeah, I want to have fun.
Yeah, wants to have fun. Interesting.
Yeah, keep talking, as long as you win, you have, no, that's a lie. No.
Okay. So I'm to my bottom line, this is where you and I part ways and have for a long time. I believe Brady is 75% responsible for all the championships, and you say 20. I say Belichick 25%. You say it's flipped.
Yep.
I think you might even go on to 50-50.
No, Coach Belichick get that.
Okay.
I was gonna give Mr. Kraft a little bit of the credit till he stepped over his boundary and sided with Tom.
Okay. Well, I'm siding completely with Tom, which is why if I own this team, I would let go of Coach Belichick now. And I know that would be a dramatic move, but that's what I would do.
No, whoa, Skip. We hold on for a second now. We got to take the emotion out of this. We can't. Hold on.
I'm not being emotional.
Yeah, you emotional right now. No. We're gonna let it balance out.
It's not just unfolding; it's unraveling before your very eyes.
No, calm down. It's okay. We lost. We lost. We got outplayed by a better team. We lost that game. We won some we probably should have lost. We've lost some we probably should have won.
Well, but they've lost before, and it's not been like this.
Yeah. You're right.
So.
But see, if they let Coach Belichick alone, now you let the man do the shopping, you let him cook, and this one time he wanted to serve this up on the menu, and you come add your 2 cents, talk about, nah, put this on.
Well, if you had owned the New England Patriots, heaven forbid, I know what you would have done. You would have said, I'm with you. Tom Brady's got to go after this year. And you would have called in Tom Brady. If you'd been the owner, you would have said, hey, you got to go. I'm sorry.
If I've trusted him this long, I'm going to ride it with him.
You would.
He hasn't let me down.
Okay. Boy, and that number 12, he'd go somewhere and come back to haunt you for sure.
But see, Skip, you trust the process, not the results.
No mercy.
Nick Foles is the reigning Super Bowl MVP, but if Carson Wentz is healthy at the beginning of the season, Foles is expected to be back on the bench. The Eagles reportedly had a very high asking price for any trade for Foles, so speculation is they will keep him. Foles expressed his desire to be a starting quarterback, saying, "I have such a great relationship with all the personnel decision makers that if there ever does come a day where I am traded or something does happen, it's going to be an open conversation. I don't know what my career holds from here on out. I would love to start again." We're joined by former Pro Bowl linebacker and Super Bowl champion Brian Cox. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Brian, will this quarterback situation be a problem for the Eagles?
Absolutely not. And I put it this way with respect to Nick Foles. Before he signed with Kansas City, he was ready to retire and go home. And so now the second point is you're playing behind Carson Wentz, who's one of the best up-and-coming stars that this game has seen in quite some time. So you go back to the bench, and the best thing you got for the rest of your life is you got the Philly fans on your side. So whenever you go, you'll never have to pay for another meal. They'll forever be indebted to you. So no, he should sit his spot. He should sit down and wait because it's a quarterback-friendly system. You know, Doug Peterson was a former teammate of mine. In fact, he won Don Shula's 300 game in Philadelphia. So that was a big thing. Yeah, it's only fitting. So, you know, with Andy Reid and the system, with what he's done with Alex Smith for now going to Mahomes and now Doug Peterson being a prodigy of that era, now coming with Nick Foles and drafting Carson Wentz, they understand how to handle quarterbacks. So for him, I'd sit back, I'd collect my millions of dollars, I'd enjoy my daughter, and I'd say, I don't never have to worry about a concussion because I'm going to be sitting behind Wentz.
Yeah, see, I agree. First of all, I get it. He wants to start. Skip, the guy won the Super Bowl. There are a lot of quarterbacks, great quarterbacks, that's never gotten that opportunity to win that game. And not only did he win, he played well against an all-time great in doing so. And on that night, he was the best quarterback player in Super Bowl 52.
Right, keep talking.
With that being said, he knows once he returns to Philly and that old right knee of Carson Wentz get healthy, is back to holding the Microsoft Surface he goes. That's his job. So in the meantime, I know you want to start, but we got a job for you to do in the meantime, which is be the backup. And if Wentz gets hurt or he's not able to go, hey, Nick, you're up. But until then, I get he wants to start. And granted, Skip, he won the Super Bowl. What are there to do? But right now, you're on our roster starting. No, that's the only that can come out your mouth. Not start.
Really?
Yeah.
So I think both of you are ignoring the 6'6" elephant in this room that's wearing a big old green jersey named Nick Foles, who once upon a time out of Austin Westlake High School, which is Drew Brees' high school, because he could really wing it. They throw that football. And Nick Foles got recruited to play basketball at Baylor and the University of Texas. So he's got a little athletic ability about him. He's got a little pride built up. He was a two-sport star in high school. He was really good in college. And then, boy, right away in pro football, he had a year under Chip Kelly. He threw 27 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions and played well enough against Drew Brees in that playoff game after that year to win it, but Drew Brees took it down the field at the end of the game. They kicked a walk-off and won barely, but Nick Foles played really well. So Nick Foles, in his career in the National Football League, has, in the regular season, 61 touchdown passes to only 29 interceptions. It's pretty great, I would say. In the playoffs, Nick Foles has thrown 8 touchdown passes to only 1 interception, and it was in the Super Bowl, and it was unlucky because the ball gets tipped up in the air. It was a good throw. Could have been a touchdown. Could have been his 9th touchdown. So Nick Foles just played back-to-back in the NFC Championship game, which you failed to point out. NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, the 2 back-to-back best quarterback games in the history of the playoffs. I defy you to go find better numbers by one quarterback in those 2 championship games of your conference and of the league, because he went 54 of 76. He completed 71% of his passes in the 2 games for 725 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 unlucky interception. That's off the charts great. He outplayed Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. He hung 41 points on the defense coached by the man you love, Bill Belichick. 41 points. And both of you are saying, just sit down and shut up and enjoy the ride, right? Is it really? After all that? That's just crazy.
That high price tag they put on him, if 25 of those other teams thought that with Nick Foles, they would give up 2 first-rounders and not bat an eye because they don't believe he's the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl quarterback. So they don't believe that.
2 points I'd like to make. One, before Carson Wentz got hurt, he was the leading candidate to be MVP of the league.
Well, that was debatable, but go ahead.
Well,
I thought Tom Brady was, but that's just
it was
me.
debatable, but it was a close race nonetheless.
All right.
And then the second thing that I'd say to you would be this. You don't remember the game he played week 15 and 16. That was far from what he did in the playoffs.
And even the game against Atlanta.
You don't know which guy you're getting. So although you make a lot of good points.
He made one bad throw against Atlanta, but he played pretty. You didn't think
They
they had a
scored
shot in
15
that
points.
game?
They scored 15
I know, but
points.
he made the throws that had to be
You
made
do
to win
realize
the game
that-
against a really good team.
Atlanta had the ball first and goal. Had 3 cracks
They
at the
did.
end zone.
I know.
So that's how close we came. And then what would they have said about Nick Foles? Would he have been out saying, I want to be a starter? No, he'd have been perfectly content.
What did the scoreboard say at the end of the
They
game?
won.
What did your restaurant do after the game? They let the Eagles come right on in, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they let them back for the NFC Championship game and then for the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
yeah, I had all them
Interesting.
juicy losers for everybody in Minnesota.
Everybody.
Yeah. Still,
Wow.
look, you and I both know this is a quarterback-driven league. If 20 teams thought Nick Foles was that guy, would they not give up those picks to get him?
Maybe some have offered more than you think.
No, ain't nobody.
Maybe Philly. Maybe Doug Peterson, your old friend. Maybe he's sitting back saying, I don't know, maybe this guy's better than the young guy.
No, he don't think that.
He
You need
might
to
think
stop
that.
it. He don't think that.
Why you do that?
Hold on. How many playoff downs has Carson Wentz played in his
Give
life?
it on the second year.
He's played none.
Zero.
He's played no playoff.
His second year,
So
second year.
you're
How
going
many
to go
times
back, you're going to give him his job back, and you got a guy who just lit up the whole playoffs. And you're going to say, sit on the bench with your Microsoft and enjoy your dog.
Whoa,
way
how
to
about
go.
this here? Hold on. Because how about this here? When Tom Brady got hurt in the Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game, why did Coach Belichick go back to him? Why did they keep Drew Brees in there? I mean, Drew Bledsoe.
That was a tough call.
It wasn't no tough call. It was easy.
And I was on that team. But here's the thing that I will say. Again, the point is the guy was ready to walk away from football. So how committed is he to it? And if the season wouldn't have ended in the Super Bowl, would he still be playing football?
Thank
so
you.
to me, you got to go to a guy that, how many times was Nick Foles in the MVP conversation, even under Chip Kelly? He wasn't. Carson Wentz is the real deal, and you got to ride that guy
Okay,
out.
that's the regular season, but who was the MVP of the whole postseason? Wouldn't you say it's got to be Nick Foles?
Skip.
Seriously.
Skip.
Who was the MVP of the postseason?
They don't get that award away.
Okay, but I'm just saying, when I step back, I say, how do you take that away from him?
Easy.
Easy?
Because the starter is Carson Wentz. You moved heaven and the earth
Yep.
to move up in the draft to select him.
Yep.
And now you're going to talk about after 2 great playoff games.
I'm going to say it again. Carson Wentz could not have played as well as Nick Foles played with the poise
Did you
and
watch
precision.
him? Did you watch him the whole year?
I watched him the whole year, and he's deer in the headlights.
How could
33
you-
and
how-
7.
How could you be
frantic.
leading MVP candidate or one of the leading
Hey,
MVP
'cause
candidates
they got
if you
off
do it
hot.
here?
He had new weapons. The offensive line was just crushing for him. He got the 2 new running backs that he didn't have.
The same what Nick Foles had.
Okay.
You know, he still had that same offensive line, those same running backs, and those same
Did you
receivers.
see the poise with which Nick Foles threw the ball in the Super Bowl against Belichick's defense? 41 points? Here's what's going to happen. First home game next year, Carson Wentz is probably going to be the starter.
Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night. And he's going to throw an interception. And you know what you're going to start to hear up in the stands? We want Foles.
But he's going to have
Foles.
5
You played in
touchdowns.
Philadelphia.
He's gonna have 5 touchdowns with the one
5 and
interception.
1 to be good.
We want Foles. We want Foles.
No, you
They're
want
gonna want
Foles.
Foles.
See, what you want is you want controversy. You want chaos to help your Cowboys.
No, I get where he's going. He's a hometown boy, so he's rooting for the hometown boys
Yeah.
where it is because
Yeah.
he knew all his high school stats. But he's a backup quarterback in this league.
He is not a backup.
Yeah, he is.
quarterback. 61 to 29. Do you know how rare that is in this
How many
league?
wins he got?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, he's backing up one of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah,
one of the most
best.
unproven best.
No, Skip, don't do
He
that.
had one hot year. Did you see him his rookie year? Were you?
Did you see
gloating
Peyton
about
Manning's
him?
rookie year?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
So
He led the
it
league in
comes out-
interceptions. He led.
John Elway's rookie year?
Yeah.
You know, John lined up under the guard.
Did you see Dak Prescott's rookie year?
Yeah, did you see his
It was
second year?
all-time
Did you see
great.
Dak? Did you see Dak's second year?
Wait a second. How about the rookie year?
What did Stephen Jones say? We got to make it more friendly. We need him to have more improvisational skills, Skip.
I'll take Dak Prescott long term over Carson Wentz
You
any
crazy.
day, any
Ooh,
night.
you out your mind right there.
It's going to be Carson W-I-N-C-E.
All of
That's what it's going to be.
All of it. You know,
Wentz.
all your mind. You bumped your head.
You out your mind.
I'm
the Philly
not
fans
out of
going
my
to attack
mind.
you.
No, watch. Just watch and
Stop
learn.
hoping.
I'm not hoping.
Yeah, you
I
are.
know what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
Nick Foles is sitting behind that kid. I feel sorry for this kid, Carson Wentz.
Because he's going
You wanna
to
talk
beat
about
the brakes
weight
off
of
the
the
Dallas.
world on your shoulder
For the
pads?
next 10 years, his record will probably be like 14-6 against
You
the
don't
Cowboys.
think he's going to press next year?
No. Why should he?
I got the Super Bowl MVP. When has this ever happened in the history of this league that the Super Bowl MVP is the backup quarterback for a second-year kid who's going into his third year? When has it ever happened? Ever.
Did it happen with the Giants with the
Hostetler left, went to Oakland.
Oh, that's the only difference. I don't know, but
We've never had a situation like this before.
Yep.
Normally, the guy doesn't get hurt like this. Wentz got hurt. Nick Foles did what
happened when he got hurt? He stepped right on the field. What happened on 3rd and 8 that game against the Rams right here in Los Angeles? What happened?
Wentz had already thrown
Foles.
Wentz had already thrown for a touchdown. Threw a touchdown on a torn AC and LCL.
Yeah. Did Nick Foles, F-O-L-D-S? He never folded.
No.
He never folded.
And what did Wentz do to the Cowboys on that Sunday night?
They were decimated.
He did it.
Yeah,
he decimated them.
He trailed at halftime.
Detonated them.
He trailed at halftime.
We gotta leave it there. Brian, thanks for joining us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.